Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty wild, a 1,700-year-old miracle. But we're going to look at it as a high-stakes bet on the very meaning of life itself.
So, our story starts right here, in a cathedral in Naples. Inside these two little glass vials, that's the blood of St. Januarius. And this isn't just any old relic. It's famous for something, well, something really strange. 3 times a year, this solid, dried-up mass, it turns back into liquid.
For hundreds and hundreds of years, people have called this a miracle, right? It's seen as this incredible divine sign for the city of Naples, a really good omen. It's a huge part of the local faith and identity.
But what if it's not a miracle? What if it's something else entirely? This is the core of the parable we're exploring today. This event, reframed as the dramatic conclusion to a wager between two massive opposing forces.
Okay, so let's get into it. This is what we're calling the Nietzschean wager. And yeah, it's kind of like a classic deal with the devil story, but completely reimagined through a philosophical lens. And believe me, the stakes are way bigger than just one person's soul. We're talking about the fate of the entire world.
So here's the bet. On one side, you've got a character called the Spirit of Gravity. His bet is simple: the blood will stay frozen solid. And if it does, it proves that all the chaos of life can be locked down, contained forever in dogma, and turned into a cold, hard truth. But on the other side, you have the eternally creative life, who wagers that the primal will to power still flickering inside that blood will wake up and flow once more.
And the stakes? I mean, they couldn't possibly be higher. If the Spirit of Gravity wins and the blood stays frozen, the whole world basically becomes a silent museum. Just statues. Perfect, unchanging, and totally dead. But if it melts, well then life goes on in all its dangerous, messy, creative glory. All right, next up, the players. So let's properly meet the two cosmic gamblers at the heart of this thing. And you've got to understand, these aren't just characters in a story. They're powerful philosophical archetypes representing two completely opposite ways of seeing the world. Okay, so check this out. On the left, you've got the eternally creative life, imagined as this laughing child made of fire. And then on the right, there's the Spirit of Gravity, this hunched-over figure basically made of stone. As you can probably guess, they each represent a pretty fundamental idea. So let's start with the Spirit of Gravity. He is the embodiment of what's called the ascetic ideal. What is that? Well, it's basically the force of negation. It's this deep desire to escape the messiness of the earth, to impose a holy order on everything, and to turn vibrant, chaotic life into a frozen, unchanging truth. It's the ultimate no to life. And his opponent? That's the eternally creative life, and this figure is pure Dionysian energy. This is the force that screams a massive yes to everything life throws at you. The good, the bad, the joy, the suffering, all of it. It's about embracing existence as this endless, chaotic cycle of creation and destruction. And the Spirit of Gravity's mission, his whole reason for being, is pretty chilling. It's right here. Be stone, be perfect, be dead. He's literally commanding existence to just stop, to deny its own heartbeat and become a cold, solid, unchanging truth. Okay, so now we're back in that cathedral, the crowd is watching, holding its breath, and the wager is about to reach its incredible climax. The fate of everything is literally resting on what happens inside this tiny glass vial. But here's the incredible twist. The blood isn't waiting for some command from on high, from heaven. No, it hears something else. It hears the deep rumble of Vesuvius, its brother in fire. It's the earth itself and all its chaotic power, calling it back home. And when the change happens, it's not some gentle, graceful thing. No, it's described as a sudden, violent shudder. It's like a primal force is just waking up inside that vial. It's not liquefying with mercy, but with a powerful, unstoppable urge to live. And this line just says it all, doesn't it? Look, the truth melts, the dogma sweats. He is not a saint, he is a stream. The thing that the Spirit of Gravity thought was his ultimate trophy, this frozen truth, it's melting. It proves that the real nature of this thing was never to be still. It was always meant to flow.
So this is absolutely crucial to understand. In this story, the melting isn't a miracle, it's a statement, a huge philosophical declaration. So what exactly is it declaring? Well, in this parable, the blood itself is the will to power. Now, that's not about dominating other people. It's this fundamental inner drive that all things have to just grow, to expand, to overcome whatever is holding them back. And in this case, that means shattering the frozen prison it's been put in. So what's the fuel for this? It's another big idea, amor fati. That's Latin for a love of one's fate. The idea is that the blood melts because it loves its entire story. It's not just accepting, it's affirming everything that happened, the fire, the pain, the martyrdom, and it's basically saying, I'd do it all again.
And it screams this affirmation out loud, crying dakapo, which just means once more. It's the ultimate yes to its own existence, to its entire history. And by doing that, it completely shatters the spirit of gravity's law. It's choosing to come back, to burn with life again, instead of staying a cold, safe, but totally dead relic. So after all that, we get to our final section. What does this wild, powerful story really ask of us? What are we supposed to take away from all this? I think this quote really sums it up perfectly. We are not saved by becoming stone. We are saved when we burn for the whole. The story is telling us that finding meaning or salvation, it doesn't come from hiding from life in some safe, rigid box. It comes from jumping in, from a full, fiery engagement with all of it. And in the end, you realize this wager, it's not really about some ancient blood in a cathedral. It's eternal. It's a question for life itself. And it's a question for every single one of us, every day. Will we affirm our own lives against the weight of nothingness? Will we choose to flow, or will we choose to become stone? The blood gives its answer. The real question is, what's ours?